Hey friends, welcome back to another Figma tutorial, and today we are going to design AI writing assistant app. Okay, so in this video we are only focused on the three screens which are the main and core screen of the AI application. So in every AI application you have noticed that we have home screen, we have chat screen, and we have history screen. Before we are going to start and designing, let me show you that I am going to use my design system files which I have created a while ago, which was a video series, and every video we have created one part of the design system. So we have started from the colors to typography to 4-point system and all these things we have created so far. So I'm going to use the exact this system, and if you didn't know about the design system video series we have created last time, so I will provide you the link in the description, and I highly recommend you to watch these videos before you are going to designing all these stuffs. Okay, and let's start. And first we are going to create our assets for our application, and then we are going to move to actual screens design. So first I'm going to select the type tool and start and drag a frame like this. Okay, and by default you will have this thing like enter, and let's type icon here. Okay, so I'm going to change the typography first, so let's make it SF row, and then we are going to make this regular for now, and for the size 24 is fine. Line height is doesn't matter right now. Let's make it center line and align to the middle, something like this. Make sure that we have SF Pro. If you are a window user and you don't have SF Pro library access or any of these things which are Mac only, so you can use any icons you have available inside community or plugins. Okay, you can use free icon pack, pager icon, or any other icon available to you. You can use it. Okay, so I'm going to select SF symbol library, and for placeholder icon I'm going to just copy this first icon as a placeholder and double click here to edit the text and paste the icon. Okay, so this is the first icon we are going to use as a placeholder. So every time I need icon I will just copy this icon and use it. So this is 24, and these properties are fine, but let's make this one is 36. Okay, so let's make this 36 by 36. So this is the first icon we are going to use, which is 24, and the small icon sometime we use, so let's make this one 16. So frame size is going to be 28 by 28. Okay, so something like this, 16 and uh, 24. We can use another one which is 20, but let's create it. Okay, and let's make this one is 20. Okay, so for this size we are going to, this one is 28, and let's stick with the 36 frame for this one, or maybe let's try 32 by 32 frame size, which is also 8-point system. Okay, so let's align these, and now we have created our icon placeholder. Let's create our profile picture. So for the profile picture I'm going to select ellipse tool, which is O on the keyboard, and click. So as we can see here we have this ellipse. Let's lock the aspect ratio and make this 44 by 44, something like this. Okay, now let's duplicate this, and the second ellipse is going to be 40 by 40. Select both and align to the center. Okay, so for this one, the top one, I'm going to press command / and select UI paces. Okay, so here I'm going to select this image. Okay, so let's, any image you want you can select, and here we are. So the second step is to apply stroke. So I'm going to make this white and inside is fine. Maybe we can make this 0.5 for now. Okay, something like this is looking perfect. Or we can assign our property we have, like for example 0.5 we have created or in our design system. So I'm going to select our variable, which is 0.5 hairline. So this is looking perfect. Okay, now let's create color for the outer ring. So for the outer ring we have to click on the color and select gradient. The first color stop is going to be, or this color, which is something like this 600. Okay, and for the second color we are going to select let's try this purple. I think this is looking perfect, but let's try pink also. This is more like a warm color, so let's stick with this purple. Okay, and maybe let's make this more like a vibrant. So I think this 500 value is perfect. So this is our avatar. So this is our user profile, and now I am going to press Command G to group this. Okay, and rename this to avatar. So this is our user profile picture, and now let's create other color palette. So I'm going to click on the rectangle again, and here we are going to make this 44 by 44. Okay, so the first color is going to be our primary color, which is, click on library. So as we can see, I have already created these color palette inside our design system series. So if you don't know how to create these, you can definitely watch the videos first. Okay, so let's select this 500 and click again on the library and select the second one, which is this one, and let's make this like angle something like this. Okay, so this is our first color, and also let's click on effects and select eyedropper tool and make the press the shift key to pick the exact color, which is this one. Okay, and let's unlink this for now, and for the y value let's make it 12, and for the blur let's make it 20, for the opacity let's make it 25, which is look like this. Okay, this is looking perfect, and now let's select with the option key and duplicate, shift option and drag, which will create another copy. Okay, so let's make this spacing equal. Okay, so the second gradient is going to be our purple color. So let's search for the purple, which is this one, and I think this combination is looking perfect, but we are going to use separate color for each. So let's click on the opacity, select eyedropper tool, press shift key, select the bottom one, unlink, and we have the same properties. Now let's make this 25. Okay, so this is our second primary color. Now we are going to category colors. So for the category colors, make this something like this. So add some spacing here. So here we are going to create our category color. So for the category, the first color is going to be the rose color, which we have already defined, or we can use the pink, but I think the rose is pretty sharp, so let's use it. Okay, so I'm going to select this. Let's start with this 600, and rows make this 700. Okay, let's try 500. I think 500 looking perfect, so let's stick with the 500. Okay, and for the color we are going to do the same thing, so let's make this 25. Okay, and 20 is fine. So later on maybe we can change this in our design, but for right now this is foundation, so let's make it perfect. Okay, so for the blue, let's make this light blue, and okay, so blue is at the top. Let's select this blue. Okay, and for the effects I'm going to click here eyedropper and make this 25 here. Okay, so the other value is fine, and we have this blue, which is the second color, and now I'm going to create our, okay, so let's start with this yellow color. Okay, so this yellow 500 and yellow 700. Okay, and for the drop shadow, we are going to do the same thing. Select this and make it 25, which is our yellow color. And let's do, we done blue, yellow. Let's create this cyan color and make it, make sure that our icon is visible on this color. Okay, so we are going to place icons on these colors. Okay, so let's apply the exact color and let's make it 25. Okay, so this is our another color, and let's make this one is Okay, we are going to also create this pink color. Okay, pink is also important. Maybe later on we change our mind and we start changing color. So we have already created these, and let's make this 25. So we have this pink. Maybe instead of rose we want to use pink. Okay, and the teal is also important color in UI design, so let's create teal too. Okay, so let's make this 25. Okay, so this is our teal color, and maybe we can create green color. So instead of teal, maybe we decide to use this. Okay, so instead of green, let's make this lime color, which is looking pretty good. Okay, and also with the mixture of these teal color, this is looking perfect. I really like this. Okay, so let's stick with the rule, and here we have this, and let's make this 25. Okay, so these are our category color, one last color, and then we are ready to go. Let's make this some light blue color, which is more like a generic blue color. So maybe we have this sky blue. Okay, so let's make this soft sky blue, which is this one. I have created a lot of variation in our design system, and now it is the best part to use it. We don't need to worry about colors, and also we have also created a extensive typography system. So right now we are just combining colors. So these are our colors we are going to use in our design system. We are going to use in our UI design. Okay, so let's start in designing our home screen. So I'm going to select frame tool by hitting F key on the keyboard. Let's select iPhone 16 Pro. Okay, so this is our frame for the home screen. Okay, and let's type the name. So application is AI underscore, sorry, underscore writing assistant slash 01 underscore home. Okay, so this is the home screen we are going to start with. Okay, so the first we are going to apply variable for the round corner. So we have 40, which is good, and here we are. Next I'm going to click on the assets and search for the status bar. Okay, so we have this status bar, align it to the top. Next we need home indicator. So for the home indicator, let's search. We have this home indicator, center line, and align to the bottom. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to select the type tool and draw a frame for the title, which is AI writer. This is the name of the application, and we are going to select our text style we have created. So we have these styles, and I'm going to select. Okay, so let's stick with this one, 30, which is this one, and align to the left side and make it like this. Okay, so from the left side we have 24, and let's make this. And for the color, I'm going to make this dark color. Okay, next I'm going to duplicate with the option key, and let's make it small. So let's try 14 or maybe 16 regular. For the color, I'm going to use this color. Okay, so let's make this. What would you like to create today? Okay, question mark. And here we are. So this is our text. I'm going to make this auto layout, select both, and make it fill container. Okay, select this one and make sure that these are fill container. Okay, so for the space, let's make it 8, or maybe let's try 4. 4 is fine. Okay, next we have already created our profile. So let's convert this to component by option command K, or we can use this option here. So let's copy and paste it here. inside frame. Okay, now select both and convert to auto layout by Shift A. Align it to the top. Okay, and for the spacing, let's make it auto. Okay, and let's check the spacing from the left side and right side, both are 24, which is perfect. And from the top we have make sure that it is less, so let's try 12. Okay, I think this is looking slightly bigger, which is 16, so let's make it 14. Okay, 14 is perfect. Okay, so this is our header area. Okay, now it's time to create our two main categories of the application. So let's select rectangle. Okay, I'm going to copy this one and paste it here. Paste here. Okay, so let's make this 165 by 88. Okay, so let's try this 165 by 88. Okay, and now I'm going to select this icon large and paste it here, something like this. Okay, now I'm going to select the text tool and click here, draw frame. Let's type new chat. Okay, so let's make this body small, medium. Okay, something like this. Okay, now I'm going to select these three items and convert to auto layout. So it will adjust the spacing. So make sure that we have gap 4 and left and right 20, top and bottom 12. Okay, so perfectly aligned to the center. Okay, so make sure that our text is also fill container. Okay, and we can adjust this, but let's leave it for now. Okay, and now for the corner radius, I'm going to use, let's try 16. Okay, so 16 looking perfect. And here, this is our first tab, and I think it is good practice to make sure that we can convert this to component by option command K, and let's rename this to tabs. Okay, and we are going to press command D to duplicate and select the master, place it here. Okay, so we are going to use the instant here. So this is our new chat, and this is going to be our second tab. So let's convert this to auto layout both. Okay, and make sure that the spacing is 24. Okay, so now I'm going to select this second color and select this tab, paste, and as you can see, this will remove round corner, but it's okay, we can apply it. Okay, so this one is new chat and the second one is quick write. Okay, and let's change the icon. So for the new chat, let's check the icon. So let's search for the bubble, and here we are. So I'm thinking like for the new chat, something like plus. Okay, this type of icon, or maybe we can use the fill icon. So for the fill, we have this option, and also we have this option. I think let's try this one. Okay, and let's, okay, look at this. This is looking perfect. So this is like a new chat and quick write. So for the quick write, we now need to select something which is quick write. So let's select, or maybe let's select this bubble. Okay, we can change it later, but let's quickly paste this one. So this is quick write and this is new chat. Okay, so this section is completed, and let's rename this to tabs. I noticed that there is too much spacing in the left and right and between the content. So let's quickly adjust this before we are moving to the next section. So as we can see, let's make it 20 from the left and 20 from the right. Okay, something like this. and between here we also make sure that it is 20, 20, and let's make this 20. Okay, 24 is too much, let's make it 12. So as we can see, this is now looking perfect. So now we are going to create our category title. So for the title, I'm going to select and draw text tool. Let's type popular tools, and next I'm going to align it to the left side, make it 24. Okay, so for the text, let's make sure that our title is going to be 18. Right now I'm not sure that which title will work best, but let's see. Okay, so let's make it 20 here. Okay, and for the color we are going to assign this color, which is slate 1200. Okay, something like this is looking perfect. And now let's create our first category. So for the category, what I'm thinking is to draw a rectangle tool, something like this. Okay, and make it like this. Now select the first color, which is this one, and paste it here. Okay, and now I'm going to draw a text for the title, which is blog post. Okay, and let's duplicate. Okay, sorry, let's duplicate this, make it, let's make sure that it is 12 regular. For the color, I'm going to use this color. Okay, and let's make it 2.3k uses. Okay, and for the height, let's make it 12. This one is going to be 20. For the spacing, okay, so before we are moving to the spacing, let's try this, and let's copy this icon, paste it here so we can see that how much space do we need. Okay, so let's use this one. Sorry, copy and paste here. Paste to replace I'm using. Okay, and center line, convert it to auto layout. Shift A. Okay, and for the roundness, let's make it 12 for now. I think this is looking good. And now let's convert these two to auto layout and make sure the spacing is 4. For the blog post title, I think instead of 18 we are going to use 16 semi bold. Okay, so this is 12, this is 16, and this is already converted to auto layout. Make sure that we are going to use this as a icon, and now we can select all these three things and convert to auto layout. Okay, so left and right padding is going to be 20, top and bottom is going to be 20 also, and for this one let's make sure that it is 12. Okay, so for the corner radius, we have used, so let's make this 20. Okay, and for the color I'm going to use this, let's make this light. Okay, so let's try 200. Okay, and this is our first category. Now we can do one thing, like for example, I want to duplicate here, and but we are using this again and again, like this is the repeating thing. So make sure that this is fill container and inside content is also fill container. So now this is looking perfect. Okay, and as we can see, this is going to be a repeated item. So let's convert this to component and make it category. Okay, and press command D on the keyboard to duplicate, select the master component and bring it here, something like this. Okay, and now make sure that the gap between this is 12. For the spacing, we later we will decide everything, but right now we are just blocking things. Okay, so this is another category. Now we are going to select both, and let's duplicate again, convert to auto layout, and let's duplicate again. So now let's change to email, and for the text 1.8k uses. Okay, and let's change this to code helper. The uses of this is 1.5K. Okay, this one is going to be creative story. Okay, and as you can see now, I think the title is slightly bigger. So this is the power and the beauty of component 980 uses. Okay, and the last one is going to be summary. So summary, and for the text we are going to make this 876 uses. Okay, so as you can see now, we are noticing once the item is repeated, so then we can see that how is the item looking different on like a repeating stuff. So let's select the title, and as we can see, this is looking pretty big. So let's make it 14, and also let's make it medium. So as we can see, this is less destructive and looking perfect. Okay, we can also check, like for example, semi bold here. I think this is looking also good, but smaller size is fine. So let's stick with this one, and everything is looking perfect. Now if we change here, so everything will follow the same structure. Okay, so now let's quickly change the color. So as you can see, if I like for example, let's check the roundness up here is 12. So let's make sure instead of destructing, make sure that we are going to make this 12. And now I'm going to press Option Command C, copy properties and paste properties. So this one, and use this one. This is unique color. So I want the colors to be really unique. Okay, so for the coding, maybe we can use this green color. Okay, and yellow color is for this creative story, because yellow is most like a creative type color. So let's use this color. And for the brainstorm, let's use this blue color for the brainstorm. I think this is more like a similar color. I think we didn't use pink color here, so let's try pink here. For the summary, pink is good. And now this is the last step, so let's copy this one. Let's check this one. This is different. Okay, so for the brainstorm and summary, this is looking perfect now. Okay, we can change it later, but for right now this is looking great. Okay, and everything is looking sync with our system. Okay, so now let's add some spacing from the top, because I noticed there is less spacing. So let's add some spacing here. I think 40 is looking good. This is like a more like a in the middle area. Okay, and from the top, let's make it 20. Okay, and let's check this again. 32, so let's try 36. Okay, and now this is looking perfect. Okay, so now as you can see, we have completed our categories, and it's time to work on the footer, which is tab bar, and some is called bottom bar. So let's work on it, but I noticed that it is slightly darker, so let's try this light color to make it more like a clean modern look. Okay, so I think let's stick with this one. Right now I'm deciding, but let's see, this is more like a cleaner version. And now let's create our footer. So for the footer, I'm going to select text tool and draw a frame for the text, make it home. Okay, and next let's try 12 and bold. Instead of bold, make it semi bold. Okay, and this is going to be selected, so make it darker. Okay, and let's make it auto height. Okay, and this is our home. And now we are going to select our icon. So for the icon, let's select this large icon, which is this one. Look at this one. Okay, which is 24, and I am going to paste it here. So let's make sure that this is right now, make it dark. Okay, and let's select both, convert to auto layout. For the gap, this is fine for, and make sure that we are first duplicate this with the auto layout, and make the gap 0. Okay, and duplicate one more time. Something, okay, so let's make this duplicate one more time, and let's make sure that the frame is aligned to the design. So this is like our design, and as you can see, 20 left, 20 right. Now we are going to select the inner content and make it fill container. Select again the inner content and make it fill container. Okay, and this is looking pretty good. Now we are going to select the deselect one, which is this one, so make it light gray. Okay, and for the text, instead of bold, semi bold, we are going to make it medium. Let's quickly change the text first. So this is going to be chat, and this one is going to be history. Okay, so I think this is looking perfect. Now let's quickly change the icon. So for the icon, I'm thinking like for the let's search for the spark. So this is icon I really like. So let's make this one is selected. So make it fill and change the color. So for the color, we are going to make this gradient, and for the first color stop, we have this brand color, so make this one is indigo. And for the second color, we are thinking about, let's make sure that this is this purple color. And okay, so let's try something like this. Okay, or maybe something like this. This is looking perfect. Okay, so this is our selected one, and this is our unselected, and I'm going to save it. And now let's change the other icon. So for the chat, let's search for the bubble, and here we are. So for the chat, I want to use this double chat icon. Okay, so this is more like explaining icon, so chat is fine. And let's make the history one. So for the history, let's try clock icon with the arrow. So clock, yeah, this icon is looking good. So let's make this one. And one thing I noticed that I didn't change the icon for these categories. So this is a big mistake. So I think this is looking good, and let's place it above this home indicator, and this is looking perfect. Okay, so my mistake, and I forget to update these icons. So let's quickly check for these icons. Okay, so as you can see, this is blog post. So let's search, and as you can see, I have already checked. So let's type page, and here we are. So I want to use this icon here. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it here. This is looking perfect for the blog. And for the email, I want to use envelope. So let's search for the envelope. Yeah, this is a perfect icon for the envelope, and we are going to use this one. Okay, or maybe I like this one. Okay, so let's check this icon here, and let's update it here. Okay, and as you can see, this is now looking perfect. And for the code, let's search for the small code icon. So less than. Okay, so less than is here. Okay, so I have already this icon, so let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, this icon I want to use. Okay, so let's make sure that this is 16 and this is 24. So let's make this 16. Okay, and this is regular. We can make it more thicker icon, more lighter icon. As you can see, this is now regular. Okay, so this is the beauty of SAP library. We have flexible options. And now let's search for the creative story. So I'm more thinking like a pencil stroke, etc. So let's yeah, I think I like this one, but let's check this one. And I think I like this one, so let's search for the pencil with the stroke. This is more like a creative story. Okay, and for the brainstorm, sometime like idea bulb, so it's more like a light bulb. And I think let's use which one, and light. Let's search for the light. Let's check that we have light bulb with more like this type of icon. Okay, and I think this is looking perfect. So for the brainstorm, let's use this icon. And for the summary, I think I'm going to make like another page, but this time with the summary style. So let's search for the page, and I think let's use this one. Okay, it's more like a unique icon. So every time I'm more like searching for unique things. So this is unique icon for the summary. Okay, and this is our home page. We are done, and now let's work on the chat screen, and let's start create our beautiful looking chat screen. Okay, so now it's time to start and duplicate our home screen for the chat screen. So let's duplicate this, and the first thing we are going to do is to rename. So let's make this 2 and screen is chat. Next we are going to do is to reuse everything we already have. Okay, so let's duplicate this user picture and bring it to the left side. Okay, and now we are going to make this thing center line. Okay, and this text also to be center line, and as you can see now this is looking perfect. So here we are, and let's select this and make it fill container. Okay, I'm going to delete this text and select our icon. So make sure that we are using 20 by 20 icon. Okay, and let's place it here with the shift command R. Okay, so it is paste to replace option, and make sure that we have this dark color. I'm going to copy the same icon again and paste to replace shift command R. Okay, and this is how we can create our header. So let's first change the size of the header. This is 30, which is too much, so let's make it this size. Okay, and make sure that it is center line, and for this icon I'm going to change it with the arrow. So let's search for the chevron. Okay, this icon. Okay, so this icon, as you can see, this is the code icon I forgot, so this is the chevron. Okay, make sure that this is the correct icon. Okay, and here we are. So this is our back, and for this one I'm not sure right now, so let's search for the filter. So as you can see, we have this filter icon, so let's use this one. Okay, and this is our header. Now everything is looking perfect. Now we need to create the tag. So for the tag I'm going to use one of this object. Okay, and make right click detach instance and make sure that it is aligned over horizontal, sorry, and center line. Okay, and instead of pill, let's make it hug. Okay, so make it hug for the top and bottom. Okay, so this is going to be creative. This is the category, and make sure that it is fully round. So we have this full round value, and here we are. So let's check this out again. We have to make this sure it is 4. Okay, and let's remove the icon from here because sometimes it is hard to find icon for each category. So make sure that it is minimum 36 creative, and this text is this background, make it lighter. Okay, so like something like 50, and for the text I'm going to make this purple. Okay, same purple like this one, so make sure that it is dark or something like this. So now we need to drop the opacity, make it 25, and remove the drop shadow. This is looking perfect. Okay, and we are going to adjust the spacing, so 20 is fine. And now I'm going to simply duplicate this. So this is the first one is the selected, and the second one, like the other one, are not selected. So make sure that we are going to use this slate color For the background, I think we are going to use this 300 color. Okay, and for the text, make sure that we are going to use this 600 color. Okay, so let's make it more lighter color. And for the text, this is going to be slightly darker. Okay, let's stick with the 600. Okay, don't make it too much darker. Okay, so this is going to be casual and sorry, casual, and duplicate one more time. This time it's going to be technical. Okay, so let's check for the text. I think this is 14, so let's make it I think this is looking good. Okay, let's leave it like this. Make sure that it is for the gap, and for the left and right, let's try 12. Let's see. I think 20 is fine. Okay, so let's make sure that it is 20. And for the text size, I'm not sure. Maybe this is large, so let's make it 12. Yeah, 12 looking good, so let's leave it 12. Make sure that it is hug, and we are going to align this from here 20, looking perfect. Okay, and for the gap, I think 8 is looking good, so let's make sure that it is 8. 20 from this side, align it again. Okay, and now this is looking good. We are going to draw a light line here, which is a separator kind of thing, something like this. Okay, so let's try 20, and for the color we are going to make this more lighter color, so let's stick with the 300. Okay, so 300 looking good. And for that line, make sure that it is really light, so let's make this one thing I noticed that maybe we can create a gradient of this thing, gradient, or maybe gradient. Okay, gradient 1. Okay, so let's try this one to make it more pop. So let's search for the gradient 1. This is looking good. Okay, and let's try make this white. Okay, and I think this is looking good. Let's check 200, make this 100. More cleaner look. Okay, and I think this is looking more perfect. Okay, now we are going to start in designing our chat. So for the chat, I think we can use this stuff, but let's delete. We can use it from the home screen. Okay, so let's select ellipse tool, click, and make sure that it is 40 by 40, which is fine. And for the color, I'm not sure right now, so let's make it dark. Okay, and we have already icon, so I think we are going to use this small icon, which is 16 by 16. So let's paste it here. Okay, select both and convert to auto layout. Okay, so for this icon, let's quickly change because sometime I forget to change the icon. So let's make it spark. Look at this. So I think I like this one. Okay, so this is more like a AI type icon. So let's use this one. Okay, and now I'm going to select text tool again and type some text. So here, let's select this text. Make sure that it is aligned to the top and aligned to the left. Okay, and let's type hello. Okay, so I'm going to select the text size first. So the text size is going to be like, let's try 16 regular, and I think this is pretty big, so let's stick with the 14 regular. And for the text size, let's make it more like dark text. Let's stick with this one. Okay, and now I'm going to convert to auto layout. As you can see, now this is converted to auto layout with the shift A, and let's add background with this color, or maybe we can make it more light color with this color. Okay, so not too much destructive, and let's zoom in so that you guys can see. Okay, so 20 from the left and right, and 12 from the top and bottom, and make sure that this is fill container. Okay, and okay, so here we are going to make this, let's try 12. Okay, and 20 from this side. Okay, so I'm going to press command, and with the arrows keys, as you can see, the width is increasing, so 20 is looking perfect. Okay, and now for the corner radius, I am thinking more like a 20 from this side, 20 from this side. Okay, and 20 from this side. Okay, 20 from this side, and this one is going to be 0. Okay, and I think, what do you think about this text? Maybe we can make this like let's check this 900, or maybe let's try 700. I think 700 is still visible, and let's stick with the 700. So let's duplicate this text with the option key, and I'm going to type just now. Okay, so let's add some spacing here, and first we are going to select font family, which is this 12. Let's make it regular and make it 500, less prominent. Okay, and align it to this size. Okay, so this is going to be 4. Convert to auto layout, select this and convert to auto layout. Right now I am not sure, but let's make this one align to the bottom. Okay, so this is our like AI type message. Okay, message from the AI, and now I'm going to create the user side. So for the user side, let's try to make it more like a, okay, so let's stick with the 24 right now. I'm not sure, but let's see. Okay, and the first thing, I'm going to change the color. So my message is going to be highlight. So let's select this gradient, make this text white. Later on, maybe we can make this plate color, but for the video purpose, let's make it more like a highlight color. So this side is going to be white. Okay, and for this is going to be 0 from this side and 20 from this side. Okay, and align the user to the top. Okay, and this text is going to be aligned to this side. Okay, so let's make sure that it is 2 minutes ago. Okay, and now I'm going to select again the user profile picture, which is this one, and let's replace it with this one. Okay, and I'm going to make this 40, looking good, and this is my message. Okay, this is the user message. Help me write a blog post about sustainable living. Okay, and this is 2 minutes ago. Okay, and now I'm going to select these. Okay, and adjust spacing. So I think 20 is fine. Okay, let's duplicate this one, and now the AI message is going to be, I'm going to copy this AI message, paste, and match style. This is important, otherwise. Okay, so now let's check this out. Okay, so as we can see, now the frame is locked here, so make sure that Width is also hug. Okay, no, we are not changing this text. Let's make sure that it is. And for this one, let's make it hug content. Okay, so I think this is the auto layout issue. Let's make it ungroup. Okay, and make sure that this is hug content. This is going to be hub content, and to the left side hub content. Okay, and now as you can see, this is slightly, you have to think about these things. Okay, and make it hug. So this was the issue creating here, and it is good to ungroup the auto layout and then create it again. So for the easy access, now as we can see, we have this message from great topic AI say and 1 minute ago. Okay, and as we can see now, this is our AI message, and let's check the spacing. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, and now we need to create the footer. So for from the footer, user can send the message. Okay, so first I'm going to duplicate this divider. uh, okay, sorry, let's bring it here. So now for right now, let's place it here. We can adjust it later. Okay, so let's place it here, something like this. Let's check the spacing, so make it 60. Okay, and now we have our text. So icon text, we are going to copy the icon text and paste it here. Okay, first we are going to change the color. So this is going to be this. Maybe we can change color later. So let's make it 500. And for the icon, I want to use add. Let's search for the add. Yeah, this one plus. So let's select this one. Okay, and replace icon. This is looking good. Okay, now let's check the spacing here. So I want this to be like 12 from the top, 20 from this side, and let's draw a text frame here. Type your message. Okay, and first we are going to change the text. So let's try 14 regular and align it to this side, make it 500, convert to auto layout, and for the gap 20 is fine. Okay, and now I'm going to add another icon to the left side. This icon is going to be mic. So let's search for the mic icon, this one, looking good. So let's use this icon here. Okay, and now I'm going to create another icon which is going to be color one. So for this icon, let's use, we have already this thing, so let's use this one, paste it here, and here we are. So let's align it to the center. Okay, make sure that we are 20 from the left. Okay, so make it a content, and this is going to be fill container. Okay, and for this is going to be hug. Now let's align it to the top, and we can adjust the spacing. So 20 from the left, 20 from the top, center line, center line. Okay, and here we are. So first we are going to change this color. So we have already gradient. Let's select the gradient. Then we are going to use sand. Yeah, this icon is looking good. So let's use this one. Okay, so now as we can see, this is our chat screen and this is looking perfect. We can also create auto layout with this one and slightly align it to the bottom, or maybe we can add some spacing here. So let's try a 12 center line. So this is our chat screen and this is our home screen. So now we are going to create our third screen, which is the history screen. So let's duplicate the second screen because most of the item we are going to use from this screen. So let's first rename 03 and screen name is history. So let's type history and okay, so let's first remove this icon and the text alignment should be from the left side. Let's type history. Okay, and this icon is going to be search, so let's type search icon. Okay, so this is the perfect search icon. We are going to double click and paste. Okay, so now as we can see, we have this header bar and let's select this one, make it all. Okay, and let's check this. Okay, so let's try to make this perfect. So it is fine, and make sure that we are 20 pixel, make it favorite. This third one is recent. Okay, so these are items we need for the tabs and let's align it. Okay, as you can see, this is looking perfect, and let's make this left side. Okay, make sure that this alignment is perfect. Okay, now we don't need this section, so let's delete this one and also let's delete this one. Okay, so as you can see, this is looking perfect. Now we need a list. So for the list, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so let's create variant, and for this variant I'm going to make this let's select and check the weight. So this is 362. So let's make this 362. Okay, and first thing I'm going to click on this main frame and select this option. Okay, okay, so now let's make this is vertical, so let's make it horizontal. Okay, and we have icon for the category, and we have also this text we need and one icon here. So let's add another icon. So for this icon, let's stick with the 20 pixel one. Okay, and let's add this icon. For the color, I'm going to use this 500. This is disabled, and later on we can add enable one. Okay, so now let's copy this thing and paste it here. Center line, and here we are. So this is the list we are going to use. Okay, and as we can see, the first list is going to be sustainable living blog post. Okay, so this is 2 hours ago. Okay, now we are going to duplicate this again with the 12, and this one is going to be product launch email. Okay, and that this is yesterday. Okay, now let's duplicate multiple time. Okay, And now I'm going to change quickly the icons, and let's try this icon here. So I think I need to detach this. Okay, so let's detach this. Okay, because we have to change the colors and everything and then change the icon. So if you want to stick with the component variant, then we have to do extra step. But let's quickly do this with this method. Okay, and here we have this blog post. So let's make this blog post email, and this one is code for the developer. So as you can see, everyone is assigned to their specific color, creative story, and this is ideas. So as you can see, this is idea, and the last one is the summary. So let's make this summary. So this is looking perfect. And one final thing is the footer. So we are going to make our footer. So let's copy this and here paste it. Okay, and now we need to select the history. So for the history, I'm going to make this semi-bold and make this dark. Okay, select this property and apply to this one. Okay, and here, okay, so I'm going to select the gradient and make this slightly thick. Okay, so bold is fine. And for this icon, I have already normal icon. So let's check for the spark. Okay, so this one. So we are going to use this icon for the unselected state. Okay, so let's replace it. Okay, and now we are going to make this 500. So make sure that this is 500. Okay, so as you can see, now we have updated our footer for the history. So one last tip, as you can see here, we didn't update the icon. So for the icon, I'm going to use star, and here we have the empty star and the pill star. So let's copy this star and paste it here. So this is the first one, or maybe the second one. So for the second one, I'm going to use this pill star. So let's copy and paste it here. Okay, so for the color, I'm going to use this yellow and this light yellow color. Okay, and again just copy this one and paste. Okay, and one yellow star. Okay, and again empty star. So select this and paste to replace. Okay, so once we finished our UI design, and one final step before we wrap up the video, let's quickly convert this to prototype and make it clickable prototype. Okay, so for this we are going to select prototype tab, and now I'm going to select our chat. So once we click on the chat, it will connect to this chat screen. So first, let's discuss the interaction. So for the interaction, it will be on tap and navigate to AI assistant chat screen, which is this screen. And for the animation, let's make it instant. Okay, so instant is fine, and here we are. So let's click on this back arrow, select this back arrow, and connect it to the back button. Okay, so this will go back. And for the history screen, we are going to select history tab and link this to this screen. Okay, and make this instant. And from the history screen, let's quickly connect these back to this screen. Okay, so this is the chat screen, which is instant is fine, and select home screen, link back to this screen. Okay, instant. And now as you can see, this is flow one, and this is our starting point. I'm going to select, it's loading, and as we can see, here is our prototype. So let's click on the home screen, and as you can see, this is looking perfect. Click on the chat, and here is our chat screen. Click on the back button, and now let's click on the history. Everything is link backed and working perfect. Okay, so this is the final step. We created prototype, clickable interactive prototype, and everything is looking perfect. Okay, back, and here we are. Okay, so that's it for the today, and as we can see, we learned in this video how to design AI writing assistant app, or we can use it as a chatbot. And this is really colorful and cool, beautiful looking app design. At the same time, we focus on auto layout, pixel perfect design, and use component for repeating item. So we learn all these good stuff, and make sure to subscribe the channel if you are new to the UIX Design Academy. And for the source file, I will provide the link in the description below, so you can download this file for free and use it and share on social media. Use hashtag UIX Design Academy so that I can review your progress. And also please join our Facebook group, which I will provide the link in the description below. And if you have any question, just ask me in the comment section, or you can post it in Facebook group, and where we can discuss all your question and answer. So see you next time. Bye.